Let's talk about smoke alarms.
It's not a mystery that the loud and piercing sound of smoke alarms is highly effective in alerting building occupants and saving lives. However, for anyone who has hearing loss or is completely deaf, those loud piercing sounds can be dangerously ineffective without additional alerting systems. So, what do we do in this situation?
These audio-visual alarms have an audible smoke alarm and LED strobe light. This is the BRK brand, but whichever brand you decide to purchase, it's a good idea to make sure they are AC powered with a 10-year sealed battery backup. If you've been tasked with installing these alarms at an affordable housing community, what areas of the property are they required to be in? One of the agencies that establishes these requirements is called Uniform Federal Accessibility Standards, or UFAS for short. In regard to audio-visual alarms, here is the basic requirement that they have established. Locating visual emergency alarms in rooms where deaf individuals may work or reside alone can ensure that they will always be warned when an emergency alarm is activated. The standards continue by saying, to be effective, such devices must be located and oriented so that they will spread signals and reflections throughout a space. With all that being said, I'll give some examples of rooms and common areas where these alarms are required. They are required to be in 2% of all dwelling units, in addition to any units that have been approved for a audio-visual reasonable accommodation. In the community laundry rooms, clubhouse or community room, leasing office, fitness room, computer room, and the library. So let's get to the meat and potatoes and install a couple of these. For a wall mount installation, the alarm has to be between 4 and 12 inches from the ceiling. And this one's right on the money, so this will just be a quick swap out. I went over to the breaker panel and turned the breaker off. We'll disconnect the alarm and remove the base plate. We're going to carefully remove those wire connectors and verify the power's off with our meter. And we're going to hook up the new pigtail connector. The white wire goes to white, black to black, and red to red. The red wire is usually the wire that interlinks this alarm to others in the house. So if this alarm sounds off, it will cause the others to sound as well. New base plate, new alarm, power back on, and give it a little test. Now this one's going to be a little more of a challenge because, as you can tell, the existing alarm is way too low, so we'll have to raise it up. I'll measure from the ceiling about 9.5 or 10 inches, and that mark will be to the bottom of the new device box. And that should put me within the 4 to 12 inch requirement. Once I get my mark, I'll trace the box and cut the hole with a drywall saw. The box I'm using is called an old work box. It's got these little wings on the back that pull up against the drywall when you tighten the screws, so no studs required. So I've pulled my new circuit. The Yellow cable on the right is my line-in power, and the purple cable on the left there will feed power to the other alarms in the building. I always encourage everyone to be a good student and to learn all you can and to try new things. However, if you aren't 100% sure on how to proceed with this, I'd recommend consulting a licensed electrician. It's always important that you size and route this circuit correctly. And I'll wire this one the same as the first alarm. New base plate, new alarm, and test.